of friends sitting down talking about the world. Fake deep think, leave me alone. We kind of
Dickin'.
John.
What's up, guys? You're.
Doc.
Yo, what's up? Yo.
Myself, Eugene. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Fake Deep Thinking. So we're going to change the format up a little bit, just a little bit of a heads up. So we're going to make the live where it's kind of our unfiltered, full, genuine discussions. And then when we do our little segments from the topics we have, I'm going to do my best to edit those down because as y'all who tend to be here and listen to discussions, we tend to go on rants sometimes and little side topics in those topics. So I'm going to do my best to edit those where we stick to the particular topic and then obviously the clips, and it's like a little nice flow thing to hopefully bring more people into discussion, because this whole part right here is where we have the discussion with ourselves and with y'all, and we try to figure out how we feel, what we think, and also some stupid opinions we might have, and might as well entertain that. So that's what this is going to be. And then obviously check out the segments and help share those. So we got John in the house.
What's up, pimpin'?
Doc.
Yo.
Producer in the back, Ian. Nobody needs to be free. Go and get him a mic soon. And then myself, Eugene. So we got a bit of a theme today. We're going to talk about some
laws.
Some laws, pretty much. Yeah, right.
Oh.
And the first one that we're going to talk about is the House passes bill to federally decriminalize marijuana. So we got to. What'd you say?
I said you don't say.
So we got a CNN article. Let's read a couple paragraphs from here and let's get into how we feel about this. So CNN. The House has voted with a slim bipartisan majority to federally decriminalize marijuana. The vote was 220 to 204.
So there's 200 and bumbleclot 4 motherfuckers that didn't want to vote this shit through? Still?
Yeah. So Republicans Tom McClintock, I'm pretty sure I'm butchering that. I'm trying. McClintock. I added that C, bro. Of California, Brian Mast and Matt Gaetz, both of Florida, joined the majority of Democrats in supporting the bill, while Democrats Henry Cuellar of Texas and Chris Pappas of New Hampshire voted against. The bill, sponsored by Democratic Rep. Jerry Nadler of New York, will prevent federal agencies, that's kind of funny, from denying federal workers security clearance for cannabis use, and will allow the Veterans Administration to recommend medical marijuana to veterans living with post-traumatic stress disorder, plus gains revenue by authorizing a sales tax on marijuana sales. Particularly, that's kind of what I want to talk about, is the whole sales tax on marijuana. Because apparently the whole point of, I would think, and I think we've talked about this before in the past when we first talking about marijuana should be legalized, blah, 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 is government will finally be able to tax marijuana now. Mm-hmm. Is that a good or bad thing?
Good. I mean, they tax tobacco.
You want, Doc?
Oh, I think it's good, man. I mean, supposedly Colorado's education infrastructure went up with all the money that came in from taxing marijuana.
Then it's the schools too. Didn't they help fund some schools too, I thought? Or am I wrong in that?
So if that's true, then I can totally see it helping out the rest of the country. And I think it's a good middle ground, because the government's not going to do it without getting something. So I guess getting some sales tax, as long as it's not outrageous.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'm tax it, whatever. Just make it legal, and we can all.
What's an outrageous? What's an outrageous tax on marijuana? Because what's the sales tax right now? It varies by state, but it's what is it around I'm probably gonna talk out my ass here. I was gonna say 6.
Yeah, I mean, depends.
I mean, if they do 15 to 20%, I'd be like, dude, what the hell?
Yeah, what the hell? That's what I was thinking. What's a number you hear that'd be ridiculous?
There's probably already a number, because when they sell medicinal marijuana, the government has to be taxing that. So there has to be a number already.
How much is?
I don't know.
That, yeah,
I don't know.
I'm in California. I was in California.
I'm not legally. I'm just
this guy.
My doctor, when he prescribes it, he doesn't give me any of the paperwork that comes with it. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
He's a cool one.
Yeah.
He's just no, I don't need to worry about this. Just go on.
He's good. Like, take this stat. Get it done.
He really cares.
But no, I
what's an outrageous number you could hear? If you heard a number.
What's the number on tobacco? Can we look that up?
That's actually a good point. Could you real quick, Ian, see if side Google the sales tax on tobacco products?
I mean, I see people spending $20 on tobacco every now and then. So.
Oh, for sure.
I heard it's expensive. They make it pretty high to incentivize you not to get it.
A pack of Newports here is $6, but in New York it's ridiculous.
Delaware, Florida, blah blah blah. So it didn't give us a percentage. It just says $2 to $4. So how much is a pack? And then like is that on average like what the
A
sale?
pack in New York is like $10. A pack in Georgia is like $6.
I guess do the second one right there. How much federal tax is on a pack of cigarettes? The little $1 per pack.
It's not the same everywhere. Or maybe the price itself is just different. But I know people smuggle cigarettes up north because of the price. Like we have salesmen. I won't say my company. Obviously, we have salesmen who work in the north. They're always having the salesmen in the south ship them chewing tobacco and all that stuff because it's just so much cheaper. So I don't know. As long as the number's not too crazy, I actually don't even care about the tax. They need to expunge everybody's record who has minor offenses with marijuana. Anything less than
that's a good point
intent
too.
to distribute.
If this goes through finally gets through the Senate, because it got through the House, now it's got to go through the Senate. If this gets through the Senate, now the conversation starts becoming, what about people who are in jail and records?
Need to be clean, my boy. They
Yo,
need
this is actually
to
crazy.
be cleaned.
I found a website that says the national marijuana tax rates. It says effective tax rate. I don't know if that's actually taxing the retail price or the wholesale price. It assumes that any taxes that are imposed prior to the retail sale area absorbed by the retailer. The prices chosen are not necessarily meant to reflect market prices in any state. What? It assumes a uniform retail and wholesale price across the nation. Just double checking. But yeah, these rates are actually fucking high. So the one in Alaska is 24%, California is 40%, Colorado's 33%, Maine is 10%, and Massachusetts 20%, Nevada's 33%.
Maine is 10%. Random ass fucking Maine has 10%. What
But
the
you know
hell?
what I hear?
Why is that so
You guys
high?
are upset. What I'm hearing, this is good for small business.
Oregon's 20% and Washington's 47%.
But how can you afford it though? Because most of the money you're
Mom and pop shops. Mom and pop shops. What will be the mom and pop shops of this industry? Your local street.
What do you mean? Yeah.
Your local street
Yeah.
pharmacist.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still out of business now. The profit they're charging so much at the store. There are going to be some people who still frequent their mom and pop shops. So to me, it's
so
like
it is on the sales tax. So if they buy an ounce for $300, then it's 40% of $300. So you would be paying.
But see, at the same
No,
time, I'll say
no,
this too.
Can't do that.
Y'all tripping. I'll
No,
say this
can't
too.
do that.
I'll say this too. If it's that motherfucker, like it's that shit, 300 a zip. You right? Hey, where the tax at? I don't see it. I don't see it. If that's the price, that's right on the mark.
So you're saying this will help?
No, I'm not saying it'll help. I'm saying if there's a
Not
price
help, but-
difference that's too high in the stores, people are just going to still frequent the way they were getting it before.
Exactly.
So,
So I understand what you're saying. Small business.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
but if it's close, which it seems like, even with the percentage difference, maybe there's
I actually took you literally, but I understand what you mean.
maybe there's like a street tax that I don't know about. You get what I'm saying? As far as like the product getting here and how many hands it exchanges. Somewhere in there, the tax is made up. Because if you're legalizing it, you're also legalizing the transportation of it. So the transportation then becomes more direct.
Well, what about? And this is one I care about the most. What about the production of it?
Yeah, what
Can
about it?
people become farmers now? Can I now grow it? Do I have
Yeah,
to be
they already do that in
someplace to grow
California, 100%.
Because
And it's pretty easy. Well, in certain states, it's easy to get your license.
and
But
you get taxed that because you're a grower now. I don't know how that works when it comes to farmers and certain things that they
Yeah.
cannot grow. Like, do you have to pay a certain fee to be able to grow something?
I also wonder if growers are part of the actual farmers union. Would they be accepted?
That's, an
That's
interesting
actually a good
point.
question.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of questions there too. It's just like, in order for it to be grown, I think it has to be taken off the substance list. And
Oh yeah, it's a class 1.
Something. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is, honestly. But
and
yeah.
if it's not, then they're gonna do the licensing stuff for it. And if you have to get licenses, that's gonna be a whole other issue.
That is a
that
problem.
that license will probably extend to transporting it too.
That
Makes
is
sense.
a problem. But that's what I'm saying. So if the transportation is more direct, where somebody getting it from a mom and pop shop would be paying the extra fee on how many people are exchanging its hands and everybody adding their own tax onto it. Since you're getting it direct, that 40% tax seems to, you know what? Actually, it seems like the government knows the exact street price and saw how much profit they had to work with. Because for the numbers to be that close, it does not make any sense. Like, they literally said, okay, because it's touching 4 different hands before it gets to here, and we know from our informants or whatever, they're getting this for this amount. Well, if they're just buying it at this amount, and by the time it gets here, it's this amount, everything from there to here is our profit if we legalize it. So to me, like, I don't even see that. That tax won't even be felt for real.
I mean, that kind of makes sense in a funny way.
It does, but
the war on
It's
drugs has been
fucked up.
going on since the 80s, so they're probably got tons of information and the market value, and they're just like, yeah, we know what to do.
Like, oh man, we getting this for this?
then is that kind of convenient that they're thinking about passing marijuana with this, economy issue going on with inflation and whatnot and gas prices being so high? Do you think it's a little convenient?
Man, you know what happens? This is just my opinion. Every time niggas get mad about some shit, anything that we bitched about a little bit ago, they be like, all right, get him that shit. Go ahead, give it to him.
Crumbs, what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Just keeps.
Yeah, y'all was bitching about the student loans, right? Because Biden said he was gonna do it, and then he reneged. Then all of a sudden, we went to war. Gas was going up. He's like, oh, we're gonna get these student loans. We're gonna start working on this. It's like
Did he say he was gonna start working on that?
Yeah, they've talked about it. They've talked about bringing it back into whatever existence or whatever it was. But before, it was just a firm
We'll start
no.
talking about it again.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like an appeasement thing. So it's like, oh, okay, well, let's just finally get them weed. But for 204 people to still vote no in 2022 is wild. That's to show people, forget the topic. That's to show people what propaganda can actually do generationally.
I'm kind of curious. I wonder how long it is. I think if I remember watching them, some of the articles that were coming out about this, I read. I wasn't able to read them, but how long is it? Because I would be curious to read it. Like, why? What specifically is in there as to why you wouldn't want to vote for this, based off how the culture is now about marijuana?
Their beliefs.
And that,
It's entrenched in them. That's what I'm saying. Like, we have to information, dude.
unless something's in there that they're trying to sneak, because politicians do that, Republican and Democrat. Like they usually sneak certain things in through certain bills. Did they try to sneak something in here? Like I'm trying to not associate, like, I guess, the bias or ignorance when it comes to the culture. Like everyone, like you said, in 2022, everyone's more accepting of it with this whole. Go for it.
There was a representative. I won't remember his name. He said, remember, he smoked marijuana and ended up in what country?
Oh man, that's right. We did talk about
I remember that guy.
We did talk about.
So as far as them knowing,
Yeah.
there are certain things that I just don't care to know. Like, for example, there are a lot of good mecha animes, I'm sure. I refuse to watch all of them collectively. I've banned them from my life. Like, everybody says, go watch Code Geass. I'm sure it's great. I'm being willingly...
That one hurts me.
But I'm willingly
Hold on.
being ignorant and refusing to watch it.
Side note, I gotta address this. We've actually him and I have given our friend Doc and Derek so much hell because there's this one anime that came out called Vinland Saga, and we made a point that we feel low-key insulted when we recommend an anime to somebody and they don't watch it. So imagine how I feel when I've been recommending this anime to this guy for years. Literal years.
But if I changed up right now and watched it, I wouldn't be who I was. That wouldn't be true to me.
That's the point of principle.
You'd wake up in the morning and time itself would have unraveled and I would be a whole different person.
It has mecha in it, but it's not a mecha anime. I refuse to accept that.
I refuse to watch robots fight.
I will defend Code Geass.
I just refuse to watch. If there's robots fighting, that's okay. So forget all the language. If I see robots fighting, I'm out. Pacific Rim, done.
Actually, I don't blame you there. Pacific Rim.
I just don't like being told what to do, so I wait until it feels like it's my idea, and then I'm like, yo, you watch Vinland Saga, bro? That shit was great.
I remember the day that shit came out. But yeah, just to that point, there are subjects that people
Y'all go watch Vinland Saga for real, though.
There are subjects that people are willingly ignorant on because they feel they understand it already.
Yeah.
I feel I've seen all the robots fighting I could ever see in my life with Gundam, and I'm good. I may be wrong, but that's just my opinion. And rather than even give a little thought to being wrong and thinking, oh, maybe I should just give it a chance, I'm like, nah, fuck that shit.
I get your point.
Yeah, so there's 202 people, 204 people that fuck that shit.
Yeah, voting against Gundams and be like, nah, fuck those things. We don't need them.
Fuck them Gundams.
That was a crazy metaphor.
Dang. So yeah, McClintic.
Yeah, we'll see. Last question. Let's move on. Do you think it's gonna get go on, Doc?
I was actually gonna say, I was like, because wasn't the conspiracy about like the reason why the Republicans wouldn't pass it was because they supported like the tobacco and like the paper industry and like the hemp industry tried to circumvent all of that.
Oh, you're talking
So
about what family was it?
The family.
Yeah.
The family that owns plastic products. It's probably good that I don't say a fucking name anyway. But the family that owns plastic products that I guess it was said that they use their power to what's the word?
Lobby. Boom.
There you go, lobby,
Yeah.
and make sure that hemp products weren't ever really legalized or made mainstream, so that way they could keep. I forget their names. It's probably good.
We should
But
probably
that's what
know
I'm
it,
saying.
too.
Like now, I feel like a lot of people have at least experienced it in their lifetimes and in the lobbying for that. Like almost all of the tobacco industry is like ready for the pivot. From what I've heard, like people that still work in the tobacco industry, they're just like waiting for the pivot to happen so that they can start releasing their products and immediately corporatize marijuana. So I don't actually see those 204 resistance. I mean, John's logic's the only thing that makes sense, where it's just people who are just kind of set in their ways and they're just saying nope, 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 nope.
Well,
And they gonna do cocaine.
that brings up my second.
Yeah.
Honestly, that brings up my second question: is this passed through the House? Now it goes to the Senate, and I would assume the majority of Democrats are going to vote yes on this bill, as the House ones voted yes. I actually see some Republicans voting yes on this, depending on what's in there. Like I said, I'm interested in reading it. So, do you think this actually might happen?
Yeah. I also
Bro, hell
don't
yeah,
want it
those
no more.
Democrats want that
It's
shit.
too late. I don't want it no more. I like my shit illegal.
So, in the next
I
few years, we're
don't
about
want
to
it.
get legalized marijuana federally?
Bro,
That shit not gonna taste the same. I don't want it.
California and Washington have a plus 40% tax rate on that shit.
That's
Fuck
crazy.
yeah, they want to vote that shit in, dude.
I'm curious.
That's
what's
just
in
But
there.
they
money.
knew this the whole time. So what?
Why now?
They stalled for the
That
tobacco
was my
companies to
point.
get in place. Is my only thing I can think.
That's actually an interesting point. Because all they have to, like, tobacco companies already have a foot in this.
Yeah.
They already have the transportation,
They
the
just have to
product,
pivot.
probably exactly. With tobacco farms, probably anything like that. Just hey,
Give us 5 years.
interesting, huh?
Dude, I'm sure they probably even have the fucking THC,
Yo, that's so fucking corrupt.
the little vape pens and stuff like that. Like they probably have the THC vials like on deck, just ready. It's just
Ready,
still
right?
illegal to
Good
send them
point. Because
Some
they
of them
got
lung
the
bombs.
Yep.
the ones you replace with the regular vapes.
Oh yeah. I heard them shits make your lungs bubble.
Ooh,
Bubble.
I don't know. I just
I
be
don't know.
feeling like it. I just made all that up.
This guy.
As long as you say they told you, you're safe.
No, I'll question you.
Yeah, well,
This guy.
They, you can point to one person.
All right, let's move on. Anything else? Anything else you want to say, Doc?
nah, I feel like it. I feel like it'll pass. Like I said, I don't see the reasons for resistance to this outside of belief. So
I agree.
I'm actually kind of hoping for it because that way it's not awkward when like you're with a group of friends and they're like, "Yeah, I need to go pick up some weed." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." Like, do we have to leave the party or do like?
Loki,
you wanna
that's
leave?
I'm
We're
thinking
here,
about
like-
the business, bro. Now you got the shipping businesses now. You got the growing business farms now. You got the actual entertainment,
Yo,
like
let's be
social
real.
settings where you can actually like, hey, let's go to 420 Circle or whatever it's called, or the Universe down the road, and let's go like hang out, smoke, and whatever
you know how
happens at
many
a smoke shop that
deals-
you do now. Like this
It's
is
kinda
gonna be
nice
a
too,
booming
man.
industry.
But do you know how many deals that wouldn't have gotten done are gonna get done now?
Or might already be in the works.
Like no, because he's like, hey, just hit this and we talk
I
about
see
it.
what you're saying.
Man, you know what? That's a good idea. Burgers and chicken wings all together. Let me sign that shit right there. Give you one.
It's
Wait.
kind of nice too, man. Like the
Like
one
a sales
time I went to
associate. Hey, let's
Colorado
go
to
down
buy
here. Let's
some-
make it talk about business. Go on, Doc. Sorry.
The one time I went to Colorado to actually buy weed, I remember it was like walking in for a drink. Like, I mean, it was awkward because there was like a guard and there was like all this like paperwork we did in the beginning, that kind of looked like a pharmacy. But then like as soon as we walked in, it felt like I was at a bar. Like I went and I asked for like what I specifically wanted, and I remember the guy was like, "Well, we got the top shelf stuff, we got the mid shelf stuff, we got the low tier stuff. If you want that stuff, and we got these little fun little pixie sticks that got it in there. If you want that too, it's like a little candy." And I was like, "Oh shit, like okay."
The cookie
Yeah,
store is like the Apple store.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, that sounds dope. I'm not even gonna
Like the
lie to you.
weed Apple store.
That sounds dope. That sounds like if this passes, I'm so looking forward to that industry boom. Like we gotta get in this.
And you can tell it's a passion industry too, which is different than the tobacco industry. Like most of the people hands-on that'll be working in the industry actually love what they're doing. Like the reason why you go into the cookie store and there's 3 different lights hitting the bud, showing you the hairs and stuff, is because Burner, when he got the weed, but he said, "What? Put the light on it. Put the light on it. Look at it." And he wanted that experience for everybody in there. So I'm all with it. Let's get it.
I'm gonna keep my eyes on this. All right,
That's true. It's actually kind of weird too, because I remember like people walking in and like telling them like symptoms. They'd be like, "I got back pain. I got this," and be like, "Oh, you want the pineapple or whatever?" And then like, "This is what you got." I was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
that's pretty
you're
cool.
just going in for weed, but you're straight up like being a doctor to this person. There's a lot of passion behind it. It's fucking hilarious.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right, let's. I don't want to get into something heavy yet, because some of these bills are controversial. Let's do the Georgia. Let's do the Georgia one.
Shoot. Let me get him. Shoot.
Georgia legislator passes law. Damn, you just scrolled up too much. Law limiting need for a permit to conceal a carry. Wait, you said something.
That was funny.
All right, let's read a couple paragraphs. Atlanta. So, the Georgia Senate on Friday passed a final version of a gun law that will eliminate the need for a permit to conceal and carry a gun, known as constitution. Wow.
What are you talking about? Constitutional carry?
Constitutional carry. I was struggling. Ooh. I don't know why.
I can't say Massachusetts.
My guy. So, the law passed through the Senate in a 34-22 vote. It had already previously passed the House, and in a tweet, Governor Brian Kemp said he looked forward to signing the legislation.
Oh, man. He said, "I can't wait for that shit to hit my desk."
Quote,
"Where my
I
feather
appreciate the House and Senate for their hard work to get constitutional carry over the finish line," the governor said. "Law-abiding Georgians deserve to ensure they can protect themselves and their families, and this legislation strengthens that God-given right. It would still be illegal for convicted felons to carry weapons under the new law. Previously, those who wanted a permit had to apply through their county's probate court." Yep, I did it. Mm-hmm. "People had to fill out an application, submit to a background check." Yep, "and pay a fee of about $70. Sounds about right. I think mine was closer to $50. The bill eliminates much of that process. The key change throughout the law is in essentially removing all references to weapons carry license or quote license holders." Let's read a couple more and let's call it. That's pretty much the last one, so might as well. For instance, one who wholly removed portions of the law in Section 11 states, quote, "Every license holder shall have his or her valid weapons carry license in his or her immediate possession at all times when carrying a weapon," unquote. Additionally, a portion of the law was removed that made it, quote, "unlawful for any person to use or possess in any park, historical site, or recreational area firearm other than a handgun."
So wait, question. Anybody, I don't need a license to get a pistol no more. Is basically what I don't need a concealed to get a pistol and actually conceal it.
It didn't say specifically purchase, but it just said about like concealing it. And
do I need a carrying license?
Well, the whole point
it doesn't seem like that.
You actually don't need a permit. I don't know if that changes between state or county, but you actually don't need a permit to buy a gun.
Yeah, correct.
What they ask you is, do you have your license? And if not, we got to go through this lengthy paperwork process getting the gun. The whole point of the license pretty much is, well, not so much now, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if you need it to buy a gun. It might help and expedite things. So the point was, if you tell me you got a license, boom, you've already been checked. The background checked, you pay the fees. Like technically, like
the express line at Six Flags.
I guess you call it that way. So the express line. Like when I got my first gun, like literally went in, touched some guns out. This one, got it. Easy peasy. I found another gun, went up there recently to shoot some guns. I wanted something fun when I go to the range. Got my Wrangler. That day. Easy peasy.
But you would have needed your concealed license to carry it on your person.
Then, I don't know about now. With this bill, no. You can just you don't need a license. Like someone, basically a cop can't ask you, "Let me see your concealed carry license."
Okay, now
basically.
Question. Now,
that's what I'm inferring.
I know we're
assuming.
I don't know where anybody stands on this. I believe people should have the right to defend themselves.
Agree.
But so let me play devil's advocate for a second here. How do you think this in an age where we're worried about police interaction, how do you think this law actually works out as far as their nerves?
Well, it's definitely going to make it more tense. I mean, Texas already has this, and basically, like, when you interact with a cop, it's understood, like, no sudden movements, kind of like, yes, no, sir, keep my hands up here, or you tell them outright, hey, I have a pistol on me.
Yeah, usually you tell them
around my
outright.
hip.
Like, if you have a gun, you tell them.
So my thing with laws like this now, it is in my opinion that when they come out, there should be, and I don't know if there is or not, there should be an addressing of the law. Like, I know they do tell police the new laws and all that stuff, but there should actually be an addressing of how to interact
And now we got the new
because
law
of this law. Like, because
norms.
I just see this like a
Sticky
rookie
situation.
car. Yeah, like, just, I don't know, dude. Like, if my gun is right here.
That's funny. That's your first worry. My first worry was same thing.
Oh,
People getting a little too comfortable.
I didn't say it, TikTok.
Side note: we've been getting some of our TikTok clips freaking flag
Because I said the N word.
John can't say the N word apparently.
Yep.
That's a policy. Anyway, people getting road rage, I guess you could say.
Yep.
And just
It's
they
right there.
just popping it. Pop, pop, pop. Let me let you know. You cut me off.
Somebody's pulled a gun on my pops before.
Some road rage.
Mm.
But
You
I've
see
seen
my
your
dad's-
I've seen your dad's road rage though. Low
Yeah,
key,
my
man.
dad
I'm not gonna-
probably-
it makes sense. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've seen your dad's road rage. He would scare the shit out of
Dude,
me.
that's different.
Like, hey man, you simmer down. I'm loaded in
My
here.
dad drive trucks like chariots, Roman chariots.
Yeah.
But no, I don't
He
think.
gets there though.
No, yeah, for sure. He
Wherever
gonna
he's
get you
gotta
there
go,
safe.
hey, man, you gonna get there.
Nah, but like, yeah, I just see it being there would be an adjustment period where
But I'm okay with that adjustment period, I guess. And I don't know if that's wrong of me to say or dark and morbid, but we need growing pains. Everything comes with
I
growing
just don't want to be
pains.
part of. I
Growing
don't want to be a
pains.
victim of
The growing pains.
the adjustment period. That's all.
Hey, man.
That's all. But like I said, I feel like everybody, because it's almost to a point that everybody, a criminal isn't. He's by definition he's not following the law, or she is not following the law. So you might as well not get in trouble for defending yourself. Like, all that litigation might as well be thrown out as far as, oh, why did you have a gun, da-da-da-da-da. Because in New York, if you shoot somebody in self-defense, you still got to deal with the fact you had a gun.
Which is dumb.
Really? That's interesting.
Like,
And
that's a whole different, you know what I'm saying?
You could, I mean, not to bring it back up, but I guess you'd argue the Kyle Rittenhouse thing too. People argue they carried across state lines. I honestly think that shouldn't be a thing. Like, if
Oh,
you can't-
carrying a gun. Yeah, I
just
mean, you
carrying-
driving.
like, yeah, he's got a gun, used to protect himself. He goes from one place to another. He should, even if it's a different state, he still should be allowed to have that gun. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, if I go
Which
to
he
another
didn't,
state,
by the way. But
fuck Kyle. Fuck Kyle. If I'm driving across state lines, like, or I'm going on a vacation somewhere, and I know the gun laws are pretty lax or whatever there, I'm gonna take my gun with me. So, like, I don't see the crossing of the state lines, why that's a thing.
just all of it, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
in Texas, that's a lot more lax. If anything, there's more scrutiny on like the terms of engagement.
yeah, that would make
okay.
sense.
Because that's what I
Honestly.
learned more. Because I was like,
Y'all got to
oh, we
take
got
10
guns.
steps and then turn around first, right?
Yeah, probably. But I just know that like you can't shoot somebody in the back because it's considered a kill. You can't disarm somebody and then use the weapon on them.
Yo, that'd be fucked up, bro.
You can't what?
Oh, imagine
You
dying
can't-
to your own gun.
You can't disarm somebody and then shoot them
Probably
with it.
shouldn't say that phrase.
Like that's considered a murder, and it's the same thing with a knife too.
So
like
they-
if you have combat training, and there's like a maneuver where like if the person tries to stab from like a high, you can basically catch the hand and send it back into their stomach. If you do that to somebody and you have combat training, you're actually charged with the murder. So
That's
That's
even in
interesting.
self-defense though.
That's
Yeah.
Like
interesting
if a
because
guy's charging you with the knife, so that means same thing for a gun.
no,
If I'm defending myself with the-
because
in
what
that-
they're doing is they're cutting it they're cutting the moments in pieces instead of like treating it as a whole. Like what you're talking about, self-defense is the whole action of defending yourself. The whole thing, the scenario, whatever happened, puts you in a self-defense scenario. So any action in there that's not too crazy would be deemed self-defense as long as it's fluid. You know what I'm saying? What he's saying is if you disarm somebody, that's step one. They're saying if you shoot the person after disarming them with their own weapon, that's not just me taking it and one fluid motion like what we're talking about, self-defense. They're saying you took it, end of action. Then you shot him, beginning of a new action. You get what I'm saying? and that
Yeah,
is
and
what's
you
making it a
actually is
crime.
murder.
That's
Yeah.
that's interesting. I don't know why or where the thinking behind that is, but that's because
It's a lot of
sometimes
rules too. Like if you engage somebody in your home and outside your home, because if they come into your home and you shoot them in the chest, like forward facing, you have basically the benefit of the law on your side. But if you shoot them outside your home as they're walking away, or if you shoot them in your home with their back facing you, it's totally different. Like they have to look at it a different way and assume that you killed the person when they were running away. Or it's the worst if you shoot them in the back while they're outside of your home because they basically assume that you shot them while they were running.
that's that I get it, but that's putting a lot of the responsibility
On the shooter,
on the defender in the situation, because it's actually asking them to be the more calm. I guess it's relying on the fact that they're the victim there.
Have more at the control, you know.
Yeah, but like, so if
patience.
the person attempts to kill me, and I disarm them, and they start running, they're expecting me to calm down enough in that the after disarming him to not just fire. And it doesn't take long to turn your back.
Yeah, that's something I've always thought. Like, what if somebody's on their side or like they're mid-turn and then shot? Because then it's just like, oh, well, I aimed at his chest, but he turned and then he got him in the back.
I get what y'all are saying, but it's also low-key a good thing. You don't want people out here just like
shooting shit.
Exactly.
But still,
but I hear what you're saying though.
It's just it's hard to. It's easy on paper, but in situations,
in
it's
theory,
hard for them to. Yeah, it's just
I agree with you.
To say a human being should just in
motion
motion
trying to cover
stop.
their bases on paper, but then it's like, oh, let's apply it. Like there are so many like.
You know what it sounds like?
It sounds easy. Like you make it seem like that situation, everything's gonna go to plan. Like, dude,
it's not.
It's not.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like somebody made the law. Somebody who didn't want the law came up with the parameters of it. It was like, okay, you get the right to carry, but if you shoot him in the back, no matter what.
Because little clauses.
Yeah, those little clauses, like, because it doesn't make sense. But yeah, I'm telling you now, somebody come to my crib.
I mean, it's got to give
front,
you the
back,
care
side,
that also can promote you or give you the
foot.
freedom to also just use it so willy-nilly. That's, I guess, the balance of it all. Because, like you said, we don't want some people out here just shoot shit up.
Why are you in my crib?
Agree.
Why is it less risky for you to break into my crib than it is for me to live in my crib? Like, that makes no sense to me. I have all the responsibility because you chose to break into my crib. Now I got to be a good guy. Good guy.
See, I'm on the side of people defending their homes, even with firearms. I think where that shit gets really messy, though, is when cops are the ones breaking into people's homes.
Oh.
Because then it's
you just hit us both.
Dude, like, what he's legally supposed to do, but you just didn't tell him, or like, you know, like, it got messy. Like, that's when it gets fucking.
Because there is I don't know specifically what it's called, but there is, and if an officer is illegally like arresting you or using force, you can actually resist arrest.
Who decides?
The issue though is you have to be able to prove in a court of law that you were exactly afterwards that you were being unlawfully arrested and you were lawfully resisting arrest. That's the issue with it. So imagine now adding a gun to that element.
That's the wildest shit I've ever heard. What you just said. Because what is it? Oh, look, it's 6 people. Hey, don't y'all think I'm innocent? 5 of them said yes, I'm good. Like, what is that? Like, how do you on the moment decide who's gonna say they're guilty in the moment? So what if you have to know you're innocent before you can resist arrest? And you resisting arrest, does that stop the officer from arresting you?
Better situation, I kind of goes with your worries, is literally, for examples, I've seen a bunch of videos on this. I don't know if it was TikTok or Instagram, some videos, but where officers would mistake a black guy for a suspect. I've seen a couple of them where it's like they were obviously super disrespectful, aggressive, and just like a little extra. And then like 20 minutes later, some guy comes around like, that wasn't the guy we're looking for. He blah, blah, blah. He's this and that. And they were like, so apologetic, sorry. Imagine that. If he resisted arrest, he would have rightfully, lawfully resisted arrest.
But for how long? That's my question. Like, if I say I'm resisting arrest,
say it's an issue.
No, I agree with you, but I'm just saying
if you actually resist arrest, it's an issue.
Do I get to say I'm resisting arrest? Does that make the cop stop arresting me? Is the question. The cop is still gonna pursue me because he believes he's right. So, but I can't prove I'm right until later after I've been arrested, but I have the right to resist arrest. How? That sounds like bait. That sounds like a way for a nigga TikTok to go to jail. What? I'm legally resistant because I know I'm innocent. Then you have to know you're innocent and be right. But the cop.
So how would you stall time there? Like, would you just have? You can't stall time in the scene, right? Like, you can't have your lawyer show up to your house to tell the cops to not arrest you.
I honestly don't know the details. Like I said,
Like, you can't
I don't know if that's a federal
anything.
thing, if that's a state thing, but I definitely.
How many cop videos y'all seen start out with the person saying, "Hey man, just leave me alone." Hey man, just no, I'm not going to jail. Like, I'm not going. How many people you seen the video start like that, and then they start backing up? The cops start inching up. They start back. Hey, leave me, stop touching, stop. You in jail. So like, what is resisting arrest then? Other than another charge you get when you're going to jail for something else. That's dumb. That's really dumb. I did not know that what you just said. That's really stupid.
Yeah, confirm that, see if I'm right or wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. Be like, hey, Gene was an idiot. He got that completely wrong. But I'm pretty sure that's the thing. I'm just not sure exactly if it's federally or if it's only depending on state.
You can resist arrest. Ah!
I think it's all
All my niggas out there resisting arrest.
around.
Keep doing your thing.
Like, I've seen undercover cops get arrested by other cops, and those videos are interesting.
Have you seen a cop get arrested by a person?
What do you mean?
Like,
You can do civilians arrest.
Yeah. On the cop.
No, I've never seen that.
that's what
Good
you're
luck.
supposed to do.
Good luck.
I'm arresting you. You feel
I'm pretty
it?
sure I've
The
seen a
thing
low-key
about-
joke about that.
Cross their wires, man. They can't do anything.
You don't arrest me. I arrest you.
All right, let's move on. Let's shout out Angel Blinds real quick and let's get the next one going. All right, y'all. This podcast is sponsored by Angel Blinds, a local Atlanta, Georgia area small business. Their blinds help you get a new look for your living room, to your bedroom, to your dining room. They even have custom kids blinds with their favorite superhero or princess. With our promo code FDT, our audience gets 10% off their first purchase and John's beautiful vocals. You can find them on Facebook page, Angels Blinds, or Instagram at Angels_Blinds. Check them out.
It'd be crazy if somebody got some blinds with Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles on it.
That's dumb.
Well, blinds on blinds. Okay.
This guy.
I was like, where are you going with that?
I
I gotta get one corny joke out every goddamn episode. Okay, come on.
All right, let's get to the controversial one. Since we did Georgia, let's go to Florida now. So,
Oh.
Yep, let's get to this controversial one. So I'm pretty sure y'all have heard about this. This is, as the conservatives call it, the Anti-Grooming Bill, and then as the, I guess, liberals, more like leftists, I would argue, call it the Anti-Gay Bill.
Oh, this.
So, we're not anti-gay bill. Can't say gay bill. I don't really think we should read all of it. I'm just think we should read.
That's the actual bill?
No, yeah, this is the actual bill. It's only 7
y'all
pages.
legit.
So, go to number 3, Ian, the actual, like, the controversial part, and then, well, actually, let's read, like, the first 3, and then I think we can stop after that, because that's all the ones I think, not that really matter, but I think encompass, like, the whole of this bill. So, the first one, I'm going to read a couple sentences each, because they get kind of long, and then we'll move on. In accordance with the rights of parents enumerated in blah, 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 and blah, 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 adopt procedures for notifying a student's parents if there is a change in the student's services or monitoring related to the student's mental health, emotional, or physical health or well-being, and the school's ability to provide a safe and supportive learning environment for the students. Go down. I guess let me read the last sentence because it's kind of important. In the next sentence, then we'll go down. The procedures must reinforce the fundamental right of parents to make decisions regarding the upbringing and control of their children by requiring school district personnel to encourage a student to discuss issues relating to his or her well-being with his or her parent to facilitate discussions of the issue with the parent. All right, next one. A school district may not adopt procedures or student support forms that prohibit school district personnel from notifying a parent about his or her student's mental, emotional, or physical health or well-being, or a change in related services or monitoring, or that encourage or have the effect of encouraging a student to withhold from a parent such information. And then this is the most controversial one. I think the reason why some people call it the Can't Say Gay Bill is the classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3 or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with the state standards. And that's the controversial part. If you guys want to read more, we can. I think there's a total of 7, right, Ian? No, there's a little bit more. But yeah, that's...
So essentially, can you break it down in your own terms, layman's terms?
How I see it, I think it's ridiculous to call it the Anti-Grooming Bill, but I understand why, because based off this, all it's doing, in my opinion, clearly at the first two,
they call it the Anti-Grooming Bill. Correct?
Anti-Grooming Bill. It's just giving parents rights over their kids. More, not rights to have rights. I mean, just more control, more influence, and less from the teachers. It's discouraging teachers, I would argue, and from trying to raise kids outside of their parents' wants. That's how I see it. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but that is how I see it. It's giving parents control over how their kids are raised again.
I don't remember being sexually aware in 3rd grade. I remember thinking like girls had cooties and stuff like that, and but I do remember like around that grade was when like girls were more mature than us at the time, so like you'd hear like this girl likes this person and this and stuff like that. So I guess I do remember that around that grade, but it was innocent. The thought of the depth behind it wasn't there. So like I think there are certain concepts, even if you just take the sexuality out, that are too complex or too deep for a child to absorb naturally without it changing or affecting their growth. Like, the topic to me of sexuality and all that stuff is like a year over year over year. Like, as you grow, like you learn new things, like you know what I'm saying? That's just how it's always been, at least for me, so I can only speak for myself. So I just don't see the point in addressing those topics with that age group, to be honest with you. It seems like
that's why they're calling it the Anti-Grooming Bill, because that's why conservatives have been calling it the Anti-Grooming Bill, because when it first came out, I'm not sure if this is why they called it or it just happened first, but it was a response because the people who were not defending this bill, who were going to attacking it, based off what we read, it seems like you're okay with teachers grooming kids, so they called them groomers.
Anti-groom. Okay, for that reason. Okay, yeah. I get that. I don't think it's even a conversation.
Was the little back and forth was y'all are just groomers.
I don't think it's weird. The conversation is weird because like why are you so pressed to teach them, and then on the other end it's like,
why don't you want to be more inclusive?
Yeah. So it's like, it's almost like the person who, like for the example, when we're like a white person who says the N-word, why do you want to say it? And versus like, if it's not that big a deal, why do people care? It's kind of like
I think that's different, honestly.
No, I'm saying like
just the question overall?
Yeah, because like
the type of question, I guess?
The question existing. The fact that you're speaking on it is what I'm saying. So it's like, if it's not a big deal, it's just a word, why are we bothering speaking on it? But if at the same point, if it's not a big deal, I mean, if it's just a word, why do you care to say it? That's why I was using that example. It's just like a double-edged thing. But at the same time, I don't think you should be talking to kindergarten through 3rd graders about their sexuality or anything like that. I feel like, honestly speaking, if y'all want to correct something in schools, how about we teach them the history, the actual way it happened? Like, there's a lot of stuff we could fix in the schools before we start talking about sexuality in kindergarten and 3rd grade. Or we could address the fact that American education is not what it used to be comparative to other countries. So how about an actual better incorporation of another language during those grades, instead of just simple, like, if we want to be complex and teach complex things, why is it sexuality that we're kind of putting the onus on instead of focusing on other things?
ABCs. Being the ability to even communicate.
I think
Respect.
grade 3, that makes total sense. I actually think that's a little, if I'm being honest, a little low. I was thinking
Okay,
like maybe
now.
grade 5.
Talk to
My
me.
God, Doc,
Talk
I
to
was not
me.
expecting that
Like,
from
talk
you.
to
Just because, yeah, like you're right. Like sexuality, like does hit different people at different ages. But I think like sexuality or like sexual attraction, um, shouldn't be officially uh addressed until like maybe like after grade 5 and stuff like that. Because that's what grade
Boom.
6, and then puberty starts hitting, and then
Like,
like
when
you
did you guys first
physically
watch those
feel.
school government movies about,
Fifth
sex
grade.
ed? 5th grade, right?
The
What about you,
cat's
Doc?
humping in the
Yeah,
bed.
yeah. So I would address that. Like,
But your parents
to
had to
me,
sign off on a form to get you to even watch that clip. Do you have to?
yeah, because some
see?
women
And we was
wanted
all
to
in
do
class.
different.
Sorry,
Laughing
I
and
cut you
I
off a
giggling.
couple
remember.
times.
I don't think as a guy I had to sign off on a form, but I do know for the girls in class they had to sign on some
That's a
form or
little
something
weird.
like that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't honestly remember, to tell you the truth, but I do remember taking the classes, and I do remember some people being not present because they couldn't get the form signed. But like the way I interpreted the first part, where it says kindergarten to like grade 3, um, it makes total sense to like stop a teacher that's just like on Tuesday, like for the entire hour, we're just gonna have a class on, uh, like basically agenderism and stuff like that to like kindergartners or like to second graders and like pronouns and stuff like that. And it's just like, whoa, like
Intersex.
yeah, like a whole course. I'm sure some teachers probably actually did that. Like that's probably why they brought up the law or something like that, where they're just like, whoa, like that's way
Well, to
too
be
early
completely
or
honest
way
with
too
you,
much.
I don't know if that specifically is going on, because I would also agree. That's a very obvious too much for a kid. Like, that seems very inappropriate. I think
Yeah.
this is more applicable to a situation that's going on. Is there's TikToks of teachers coming out to their students at these grade levels, and some teachers even feeling moved to tears that their students accepted them and their sexuality and self-identity. And it's weird. It is, for me, I'll speak for myself, incredibly weird. Why do you feel the need to come out to your students? And 2, why is their reaction that moving? I personally think that's weird. And I think that's what this bill kind of prevents. You shouldn't be exposing that much of your personal life to your students.
Also, in another way, if you look at it how like things stereotypically lean, you could say it's indoctrination as far as political party and political affiliation. Because if you like,
Because stereotypically, both parties feel differently about this particular subject.
so I mean, I get somebody who would argue that point. I don't like it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just don't like it. I don't think that you should be harping on this. There's just so much other shit, dude. Like
ABCs.
there's just so
Yeah,
much
there's a
other
lot
shit.
that they can learn at this time, and I feel like it's also a bit of an awkward age where it's like if you're trying to reinstill like the sciences and stuff like that, and you're teaching them about like the basic parts of biology, and then you're spinning the wheel on that through sociology, then it gets a little weird, you know what I mean? And so I understand like once they get older, once they start taking sociology classes and stuff like that, then that's when you can start teaching them like the tolerance and how to go
Yeah.
about life with it. And that makes the most sense to me. But like to undermine the science of it at like a foundational level, that's where I'm like, that's iffy. Like,
And then it's crazy because if you apply it to other things, they say, "Oh, don't curse in front of your kids, or don't do this in front of their kids because they're so malleable. They're sponges. They can just any bad behavior you do once in front of your kids is like, don't do it. Don't curse. Don't drink. Don't." But then you want them to understand something this complex before they can understand fractions. My boy, if I had a child come home to me at second grade talking about, I don't know where babies come, he break down to me where babies come from, but he's failing math, his fractions is off, his ABCs is off. He doesn't know
Structure of the grammar,
he's
and
saying
like that, history.
He's saying geeses and shit like that. Son, I'm raising hell at that school. Not because of the subject matter, just because the kids don't know enough already. Why are you trying to overload the kids? Like, their brains are not fully developed enough to even understand the concept Now you're imprinting something on their brain that they, like he said, they don't understand the depth or the nuances that come with respect, personal space, personal hygiene, all the other things that come with it. They don't understand, but you're forcing them to get the deepest part. Man, I don't like it.
2 points personally, and if you got something to say, Doc, interrupt me. Before we move on to the next topic, is one point I want to make is this bill also covers, in the first 2 it said too, the ability of teachers not to inform students. There also have been some TikToks I haven't shared with y'all, but I've came across, and there's some videos of montages of some teachers doing this where they actually say how if my student confides in me about their sexual identity or gender identity or whatever this stuff is, they make it a point not to tell the parents. That's why this bill, like, no, everything the child does, monitor when it comes to mental health, anything, you have to tell the parents. Like that one video reacted to where the mother was furious that she didn't know until way later that her child was suicidal. And that because, I shouldn't even said that word, I don't even know what I can't say sometimes. But she couldn't address that with her child because the teacher held that from her because she was trying to address that before the mom could address it.
Yeah.
Like you said, no one's going to love you more than your parents. So why do you, and this is the second point I want to get into, which is going to be my most controversial point, but let's get into it, is these people who identify in that particular community, I guess, some of them, not all of them, they can't even have kids. So why are people who can't even have kids trying to dictate how kids should be raised? Hot take.
Well,
Doc, do you care to answer that?
Yeah, I'll answer that, but I'll jump with like the first part of the argument. So I'll say 3 things. First thing, I actually on this law don't like the last part where it says "or in a manner that is not age appropriate or whatever, etc." That part can be open
age appropriate
for
or
interpretation.
developmentally appropriate for. Okay.
That part can be open for interpretation, and that can be exploited. Like you could, I don't know, man. You could put up the wrong poster and fire a teacher over that, and so that's. I feel like that should be looked at again and rewritten. The like concrete, like K to grade 3, like that's fine, but then after that,
because you can apply that to religious stuff too. If someone teacher puts like a cross or blah blah blah, boom.
Better written for.
But I'm okay with that too. You shouldn't be teaching religion to kids at that age either. I'm okay, like, go on, Doc. Sorry.
And to get to what you were just saying, I understand including the parent. The only time I wouldn't do it, and I would actually think about it like very carefully, the way I make the approach, because I think I would attempt, but then feel the waters, is if the parent's like violent. Like if the parent's violent and upset that their kid is acting feminine when he wants their kid to be masculine, or vice versa, and stuff like that, or they're just completely neglectful of the kid and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, oh fuck, this kid's in a broken home.
That's a valid point because apparently there was a father who killed his trans son.
Yeah,
daughter.
I can't tell him that the kid's having trans thoughts because then he might hurt it. So I would have to. Yeah. Well, I didn't say it like that, but I just meant like the.
Yeah, no, we're just being funny.
Yeah, don't let. All right.
That's the iffy part where it's like that's where you got to walk on eggshells, because then if the dad's like wholly open for everything, then I would just be like, look, he's feeling this way, yeah, deal with it. And then if the kid's in danger though, I think that's different.
I'm just curious to see the stats on like how prevalent is that an issue.
To your religion,
and we don't know because like it's such a new thing that we might not even have data on stuff like that.
It's been a while since I've been in school. What did we used to say? And then right after, was it the pledge, the national?
When you first start
I
school,
say the pledge, right? It was the pledge.
You get to school,
stand up, say the pledge.
Yeah, the pledge.
The pledge don't got under God in it.
Yeah,
it does end in a prayer
with liberty.
And I know
under
some
God.
people made a fuss about that.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not allowed to, some people don't say the pledge anymore. Remember, like I don't know if you did in I don't know if I should.
We was forced to
school.
say it. I still remember my charter school's theme.
I think around our senior year we didn't have to say it anymore. They stopped doing it.
Yeah, I didn't notice they stopped doing it. Is it because of the God part?
Actually, I take that back. Maybe earlier.
I think some people were able to, like, if you had a different religion or something like that, or you just wanted to not say that part, you could not say anything. And I think you could also like stand in silence.
Yeah, I remember the silence part.
I used to put my head down.
I just remember like when it stopped.
Sleep.
But yeah, that was my hot takes. Anything you want to add before we move to the next topic?
Jesus Christ.
I remember you said the thing about the parents, and then what was the last thing you mentioned?
Oh, my hot take, which was
They can't have.
yeah, certain people in that community who can't have kids. Why do you feel the need to dictate how kids are raised?
Oh, I don't necessarily think that's actually coming from them. I think that's more coming from. So it sounds condescending, but it's like sympathizers, like people that are trying to basically
People who aren't actually part of the
create.
LGBT community, but people who want to support the communities.
Yeah, and they want to create tolerance for like the future generations and stuff like that, which is totally fine. I just think at a much more mature age, once like sociology starts rolling around into people's minds.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's a overcorrection, but we'll steer it right back where it needs to be eventually. It'll be there for like 1 second on the way back to the other extreme. Is that the last topic?
No, let's do the last topic we got is going to be the I mean, we don't have to talk if you want to. We can right into here. Is the one where they make daylight savings permanent?
Oh man, look. Wait, but we have more daytime now, right? Yeah, it's more daytime.
Is it more
It's more
daytime?
daytime.
Because sun rises around what, 8 o'clock?
Yeah, but they made me wake up an hour earlier because they moved it forward, spring forward. So they perpetually stole an hour from me, like forever.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm a little confused by this because I thought there was a point to the daylight savings thing because it's of the rotation of the planet around the sun and stuff like that, and how that fluctuates, and we want the time.
I thought the reason, when they said it, read it, I'm not sure, but I thought the reason was because whatever reason they made it for was no longer needed.
Yeah, I thought it was a farming thing.
Yeah, I thought it was like, there was something to it that was no longer like.
That might make sense, actually.
Sunshine Protection Act. That protect everything but TikTok. Can't say it, TikTok.
I guess let's read a couple of it and let's get into it. Might as well we have a short one on this one.
Sunshine.
The U.S. Senate on Tuesday passed legislation that would make daylights. Well, honestly, I feel like this is a weird thing too. Like, why is the government even like?
Why'd y'all do this?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like this.
Fuck y'all. I don't like this at all. I just
Seems
don't like the
random.
government doing shit. So like,
Seems random.
y'all just stuck with this time from now on, huh? My whole life just now is just.
What if I identifying this time?
I ain't gonna lie, my boy. I'm an hour ago. I
Identify with my hour past.
Oh man, that was my past life. I don't know what. How do you even?
Low blow.
How do you even like? I don't know. Why did this come to the table? Why was this a thing? Is it like a renewal thing?
Let's read this and get to see maybe they might say something. So, Tuesday passed legislation that would have daylight savings time permanent starting in 2023, ending the twice annual changing of clocks in a move promoted by supporters advocating brighter afternoons and more economic activity. That threw you, huh? The Senate approved the measures called the Sunshine Protection Act.
Brighter afternoon. So somebody woke up. He was like, you know what? I sure wish we had one more hour of sunlight. He was like, I know a guy.
We might be able to make this work.
We might be able to make this happen.
You know what we call it? The Sunshine,
The Sunshine Protection Act. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. What was Sunshine Protection Act voted? The House held a committee hearing on the matter. Must still pass the bill before it can go to President Joe Biden to sign. The White House has not said whether Biden supports it. A spokesman for House Speaker Nancy Pelosi declined to say if she supports the measure, but said she was reviewing it closely. Mark Rubio, one of the bill's sponsors, said supporters supporters agreed the change will not take place until November. Input the airlines and broadcasters. After input. The change would help enable children to play outdoors later and reduce seasonal depression, according to supporters.
That's why
What?
they did it for the children.
What?
The kids get an extra hour to play outside now because they got to come home when the street lights come on. Is that still
bro,
a thing?
Just getting an extra hour to play fucking Fortnite.
I understand the phrase,
Yeah,
but
what
I
I'm
was about to
saying.
say, growing up, to like, I played till dark sometimes.
Man, what?
Like in
the
the
game
dark.
not over till it's over, my boy.
Exactly.
Until your mom come up the street and yell.
I remember we played football sometime back in your neighborhood, man.
We keep going.
Hey, they were tough. I'm not
We
gonna
keep
lie
going.
to you.
We keep going. Yeah. We was getting to it. We was really getting to it.
Oh,
Talking
the tennis
shit
court
too.
too. I remember that.
Man.
That was fun.
We was talking that big shit too. But nah. Hey, fuck you, Rubio. That's not cool. I don't like that you did that. Ding. No, I really don't. Why did Mark Rubio? Is that the guy that get the penis
Let's
leak
read what he
thing?
said. What?
Mark Rubio. He's never had a leak of his genitals on Twitter.
I don't think
Who
so.
am I thinking about?
I don't know. I know exactly what you're talking about though, but I don't know who. But
Who is that guy?
do not think it's Marco Rubio.
I think Mark Rubio got some. I don't know. I think he's been in controversy.
I mean, maybe all politicians have some level of controversy, but when does it actually matter? Anyway, quote: "I know this is not the most important issue confronting America, but it's one of those issues where there's a lot of agreement," Rubio said. Okay. With
who?
Yeah.
That's why I said I don't like this.
If we could get this passed, we don't have to do this stupidity anymore.
You don't.
Quote: "Pardon the pun, but this is an idea whose time has come."
Yo, son. Let me tell you something, Gene. You know you've been talking about, what did you call it, a constitutional convention?
Yeah.
There's,
Gotta happen, huh?
No. Let me tell you something. If we all can't even agree to set our hour.
Imagine us trying to get a convention together.
A real rebellion right now would be us saying, fuck you, Mark Rubio, and we all set our hour right back, and we all operate as business as usual. Like, fuck you. It's on my time.
Super funny.
What?
That low-key would be super funny. That'd be a protest.
And we'd call that shit.
That would be one
That'd be a
hell of
real protest, and we call that shit Mark time. You on Mark time. They got an hour late.
Yeah, Rubio time.
They got an hour early. You on Mark time.
Rubio time. It's like the name. Just like we call him that Rubio time.
That Rubio time. That boy put up an hour early.
Dude, that shit would cause so much chaos. Can you imagine
Low
just
key,
like a faction
you're
of people
right.
living an hour behind everybody
Yeah,
else?
dude, that's actually funny.
You pulling up 10 Rubio,
That'd
or
be
you
a
pulling
good
up
protest. Low
you
key,
pulling up
that'd be
10
a
Rubio,
good
or you pulling up
protest.
10 Eastern?
Yo, that's so funny. Hey, what time you got? I got 9 Rubio. Hey, what time you trying to meet at?
Lame ass.
You can do around 8:30 at Rubio.
Nah,
8:30 Rubio.
lame ass.
Be arguing with like balance just I can't leave yet. It's barely 1 a.m. Like it's fucking 2 a.m.
It's 2. Well, I ain't been up.
Halftime Rubio. Halftime to it.
Man, I wonder if I could finesse work overtime with this. Possibly.
You charge him for the
If you
Rubio
do that,
hour.
let
Probably
me know.
charging
It's
for
a
that Rubio.
hour.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I ain't gonna lie. This shit
Rubio
is.
hour. That's actually funny.
The world has to be ending soon. Let's be real. The world has to be ending soon. Niggas is stopping the sun.
Getting marijuana
hating-
federally decriminalized, and now we're getting.
And they said aliens existed last year
Rubio
3
time?
different times.
Boy, we still got to talk about that. Maybe we'll do it next week. I still got to, because what was it, last year? Where they finally had, I think it was June, they finally came together and released what their report was. We didn't even talk about that yet. We said we would. I got to remember that.
Don't none of this shit we talking about really matter. I'm gonna be really honest with you. I don't even know why I listen to this shit. When
Hey, man.
aliens
Why y'all
exist,
listen to this
when
shit?
aliens
Please keep
exist,
listening.
when aliens exist, go find them. Go find what's important. And it's aliens. All this other shit, if aliens are for real, this shit is, what are we talking about?
What if it makes it matter even more?
To do what? What matters now more?
Existing.
That aliens. That alien. What we spoke about today. Name one topic that matters if aliens come today.
It just simplifies everything.
The carry, conceal the carry.
That matters.
Alien not
To a
gonna
point.
let you flinch
I
at
still
nothing.
would like to have it.
What if the aliens are like, nah, Rubio's right. Like, you guys should spend more time in the sun.
Oh my god. It'd be wild if an alien had a watch. I ain't gonna.
I'd question them. Like, well, what are you trying to say, bro?
No, I'm good. I need to eat food.
Yeah, I'm hungry too. Anything last you want to say, Doc?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, y'all. That's enough fake deep thinking. Appreciate y'all tuning in for the conversation. This freaking guy. Make sure you hit that like button if you already haven't. Hit the subscribe button. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram to get our clips. And share the videos, y'all. Appreciate y'all. See y'all next time on Fake Deep Thinking. Peace.
Fake deep.
Peace.
Welcome back to FDD. Just for friends sitting down talking about the world. Fake Deep Thinking. Leave me alone. We kind of...
Dickin'.
John.
What's up, guys? You're.
Doc.
Yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, what's up? Yo.